So, thank you so much everyone for joining me today. I'm going to be talking about vows, vow writing for beginners, where to get your vows from, where to get your inspiration from, the basics of vows, the legal part of vows, because there is a legal aspect to vows that we need to look at as well. So my intention is for this to be a basic session, explaining what vows are and then what we can do to build on just the legal line if you would like to have more than just a legal line in your vows. Now, the legal part is on your marriage license, and that is what you are sent, what you and your celebrant are sent to get you married. So you get your marriage license and you get your 2 copy of particulars. Now, on the license, if you do have your marriage license already, you will see at the bottom of the marriage license that it says these words: I, A-B, take you, C.D. to be my legal wife or husband, all words to that effect. But that's the legal line. You can build on that more, and that's what we're going to go over in this session today. Now, the important part is if you want to build on that legal line. You don't have to, but you can if you would like to. So the legal line is really agreeing that you are wanting to marry that person, and that you are who you say you are, and that that the person that you're marrying is the person that they say that they are as well, and that you agree to that you are marrying them. So everything else is up to you that you say in your vows. Thank you everyone who's just joined. It's nice to have you all here with me today. Just talking about the basics of vow writing, so the legal part and everything else that we can add into that to make them vows, your vows, and unique vows as well. So some people might think that vows, the extra bit other than the legal bit or the traditional vows, are superfluous or fluff, but I say to them, don't be a bore, let's just get into writing cool vows, vows that mean something to you and vows that mean something to your partner as well. So you can just go with the traditional or the legal line. That's something that for you to discuss with your celebrant. But I know that you're here watching today because you're wanting to know more about writing your vows and some tips and tricks of writing your vows. So why do we share vows? Of course, as I've said 3 times already, that there is a legal requirement of sharing your vows and sharing them in front of at least 2 witnesses, and that and of course the word vow means to make a solemn promise or to dedicate to someone or something. So I suppose when you look at someone or something, the someone is the person that you're marrying, your partner, and the something is your marriage. So you're dedicating yourself to, you're vowing and you're promising to that person that you are here for them and that you're here for your marriage. Now, for some people who don't go to a lot of weddings, you might think that you have to say, you know, those traditional vows of to have and to hold, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, and sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, you know, all those obey and all, you know. Now, you don't have to say those words. If you would like to, you can use those vows. And some of my couples, but I can count on probably one hand, some couples would like to or do use those traditional, very traditional vows, because it has meant something to them. So for example, their parents said those traditional vows, their grandparents said those traditional vows. So it's really beautiful if they want to use those traditional vows in their ceremony, but you don't have to. It's up to them and what's with their family and their tradition. So where do you start when writing your vows? And I know that's why you're here today. Firstly, you don't need to be creative. You don't need to be a big romantic. You just need to be able to think about what your partner means to you. So it's those thoughts and those feelings is how and what makes up your vows. So let's just look at some of the ideas that you could do. What I say to some of my couples who are struggling to write vows, I say to them, you know, have your phone with you and write down the things that come to mind when you think of your partner. So as a journalist, we think about the who, the what, and the why. So you could say, so you think to yourself, the who, the what, the why. The who am I marrying? Why am I marrying them? And what am I marrying them for? What things do I think of when I think of my partner? And things like that. So what your partner means to you, how your partner makes you feel, some humour if that's your style. You might like to weave in some a quote or some song lyrics into that. And if you're still struggling to find some words to say in your vows, why don't you listen to some music? Music is an emotive tool used by, so many people. And I mean, I love to listen to music when I'm happy, when I'm contemplating something, when I'm sad, when I'm feeling really good. Music sort of brings up a lot of emotion, and that might help you in writing your vows. So if you listen to some music, think about the person that you're marrying, and that might get you into that frame of mind of, there's my dog, the frame of mind of what you're doing and what you're writing for your partner. Now, there are the best tool that you have at your disposal is your celebrant. Your celebrant is going to be the one who helps you write your vows if you need help and if you want help writing your vows. That's what we're here for. That is our job. So if you need some help and you are struggling, talk to your celebrant because they are always the best person to talk to when it comes to writing vows and everything else to do with the ceremony. And we have some amazing celebrants here in New Zealand, so go ahead and ask your celebrant if you need some help with that. Now, when you think of writing vows, think of the structure that you might like to put your vows into. Here's some examples of structure or formatting. So 1 is the essay style, and I'll come to that in a second. 2 is the free-flowing vows. 3, winging them. 4, traditional or set vows. Or 5, just the legal line. Now let's look at 1, the essay style. So that would be the introduction. So, for example, from the moment I saw you standing in line at McDonald's after a night out, that could be your introduction, or however, the first time that you saw them, whatever. Some words about what they mean to you and some promises and vows that you would like to keep to them. So remember, the vow means you're dedicating yourself to someone or something. So some promises that you might like to include in those. And you could share your favourite quote, song lyric, anything you'd like to build on those vows. And of course, the conclusion. Every good essay has a conclusion, and that is the legal line. Or you could start your vows with the legal line. So that is the essay structure that I look at as an essay structure for vow writing. The next one, free flowing. So that's just you're putting down onto paper what your partner means to you, what you think about when you think of them, the vows and promises you like to make, whether they are full of love, full of humour, anything. You can do anything like that as part of your vows. So that one is free flowing. Number 3, winging them. I love to put this one in. Winging them. Please don't wing your vows. You may be the most confident person I have ever met, but you may just have the first mind blank of your entire life when you are saying your vows. So you could write some bullet points or some, a few notes about what you'd like to say, but don't go on with a sort of a clear head. I mean, that's just my suggestion to you, and that's what I'm here for. Please don't wing them. See, I have had people wing them. And I've also I've taken the legal line with me, just in case I forgot. And then, of course, the number 4 and number 5, which is the traditional or the set vows that you can work on, or you can get from your celebrant. They'll supply those to you, or just the legal line. Because all you need is a legal line, as I say. Everything else is extra for experts. Okay. So, other ways to get ideas for your vows. Now, your marriage celebrant has no doubt shared some vows, some basic vows that you could build on, or you could look at those vows and take one line from one vow, take another line from another vow, put them together, put a few of your own words in there. And if you just have a stream of consciousness and send it through to your celebrant, they could actually help you come up with some vows just by building on those. those ideas. So I encourage you to work with your celebrant on your vows, and that's what we're here for, using resources offered by your celebrant. I always find that Pinterest is a great place for inspiration. They've got some great quotes, great vow ideas on there. Who doesn't love Pinterest? The only thing I would say about Pinterest is don't get swamped in Pinterest, because Pinterest can suck you in and give you too many ideas. So Google, that's always a great place. Who doesn't love to research on Google? And wedding websites, and of course, this live. This is a great place to find ideas for your wedding vows as well. So tips on how to say your vows. I would suggest saying them from a piece of card, or from your celebrant's book or their iPad, or if you are one for remembering things, then you're welcome to do that as well. But just whatever is going to be best for you is how you would say them. Now, what I'm going to share with you now is some examples of real life vows. So just to show you how different vows can be. So I've got about 5 different vows, just little bits of vows that have been shared at ceremonies that I've taken. You are my jigsaw puzzle piece, the part that was missing and the part that brought it all together. I mean, isn't it beautiful? And that just paints a beautiful picture of what that person means to them. Here's another one. I promise to always choose us and put our relationship first. I promise to always be on the same team and stand united. I promise to help you grow and to grow alongside you. I promise to always be put your chocolate in the fridge. So it's some beautiful lines and then a little bit of humour at the end there. So I quite like that as well. I fell in love with you because you wanted to know what my favourite colour was and how I liked my coffee. I fell in love with you because you remembered what my favourite cake was and then bought me 6. I mean, how lovely is that? I love that. Okay, another couple. You've shown me that the most valuable thing we have is time, and I want to share my time with you. Words have never been my thing. Still, I wanted to rewrite the end of my favourite movie, but it turns out I can't even name 10 things I hate about you. That's beautiful. Okay. Now, I mentioned earlier that you could weave in some poetry into your vows, or some song lyrics. Anything that adds something and is beautiful and meaningful, add those into your vows as well. For example, at the end of our wedding vows, my husband said to me one of his favourite Pearl Jam quotes out of a Pearl Jam song. We were but stones, but your light made us stars. Isn't that lovely? Or you could do something that you've seen on a movie or from a television show. Now at the moment, I'm a little bit addicted and haven't quite finished Schitt's Creek. And there is a scene in that, season 4, episode 12, where Patrick says to David, "You're my Mariah Carey." I mean, imagine that. Imagine if someone brought something from pop culture into your relationship, into the vows. I mean, that's really cool, and that would mean something so much. Okay, moving on. So I've given you some ideas of what to include in your vows, but you're thinking that you're not really struggling with the content. You're struggling with how you're feeling and your nerves. So I get it. Like, public speaking is one of life's biggest fears. So anxiety might be quite high on your list at the moment. So first of all, here are my tips. Don't overthink it. I know that's easy for me to say, but you can get lost in overthinking it, talking about it, worrying about it, but you just need to just sort of let that slide, because I mean, it's going to happen, and you'll be seeing your partner as well, and just focus on them. So just don't overthink it. It's just the two of you, and maybe your nosy little celebrant is listening as well. Okay. Be prepared. I suggest making sure you have written your vows and not just winging them. So being prepared is always really helpful when it comes to writing your vows or saying your vows, and not being shy or anxious or anything like that. I should just stop here and just sort of thank everyone again for joining me today on this live. this video will of course go up afterwards. I know there's a lot of people working right now, and I thought was the best time for me to come on and do a live when everyone's working and no one can join us. So thanks again for joining us. We're going through the basics of vows, ideas for writing your vows. Okay, so thanks for that. We're just talking about anxiety at the moment and the things that couples might be struggling with when it comes to not just the content, because we have gone over the content, but feelings of nervousness and heightened anxiety. So I've said, first of all, don't overthink it. Secondly, be prepared, write those vows, don't wing them. Perhaps you would like to do a repeat after me. So that's when your celebrant says a line and you repeat it. So that sort of cuts down on the having to read off the book and speaking at the same time, because not everyone can read and speak at the same time, I suppose. Okay, so another reason that people get nervous, and I do find this a lot, is that they are excuse me, they are shy, I suppose, scared, embarrassed about crying, and I get that. Crying is one of those things, it's one of those emotions you just can't control. But what I say to you is, everyone cries. At weddings, everyone cries. So if you cry, you're crying along with everybody else. So don't worry about that. If that's one of the things that you are thinking about, don't worry about that. A really good thing to think about is remember that you are talking to one person. You're talking to the person who means so much to you. You are talking to the person that you really, really like, the person that you love, because you're marrying them. So just focus on them. Don't focus on anyone else or thinking of anyone else who is listening. Finally, take it slow. Just don't rush it, because I find that if you speak quickly, you get lost in the moment. But taking the time to say your vows and saying every word that you want to say is, it helps with nerves as well. Now, before I go, if you do have any questions, please just comment below. Please send me a message on Facebook, on my Celebrant page, flick me a message on my website. So there's the same handle, Kineta Booker Weddings, which is Instagram and Facebook, or you could pop to my website, kinetabooker.com, send me an email, kineta@kinetabooker.com. Any of those places you'll be able to find me and ask me any questions about vows or anything else, really. So I know that there were some people who couldn't join us today on this live chat, but they have sent me some questions that they would like me to answer today. Okay, so I will do that now. Do your vows have to be the same? No, they don't. So your vows could be, or they could, they don't have to be the same, but they could. So your vows could be something completely different. They might be chalk and cheese, but if you've opted for them to be the same set vows, they are the same. If they're not, then they're not. Just remember, the only thing we need to remember in vows is the legal line. So that's that I take you, I agree, I use my full name, I use your full name, and I agree to take you, I agree to marry you, kind of thing. Okay, so everything else is extra, and we love extra. Extra's fun. Okay, do your vows have to be the same length? Now, this is another thing that we as celebrants, we find that some people do a couple of lines and some people do a couple of pages. Now, that's something to chat about with to your partner, because you might say to your partner, oh, I don't mind that your vows are longer than mine. Do you mind if mine are longer than yours? I want them to be the same. Just speak to your partner and talk about the things, the things that you want to get out of your vows, the things that you want to say. And, so one could be quite short, one could be quite long. Your celebrant might say to you, because, you keep your vows as a surprise. I mean, it's nice to keep it a surprise from your partner. It's one of the things that you can look forward to on your wedding day, hearing your vows and hearing what your partner means to you. So the celebrant might mention that one is a couple of lines long and the other one's a couple of pages. So what they're doing is they are just making you aware that one is quite different. But actually what I find as a celebrant is that when couples send through their vows to me, it's amazing how many of them match. And, they haven't worked on them together at all. But, yeah, they've got some, it's very special. I really love it because it just shows how in tune and in sync couples can be when their vows are quite similar. Here's another question that someone has messaged me because they knew they couldn't be here on the live today. Do we share our vows with each other before the ceremony? Now that's completely up to you. Now, as I said before, often it's the only thing that it's the only surprise you get on your wedding day is other vows that you share with each other, unless you want to share them with them the day before, the night before, the morning of, before, you know, you might be doing a first look and you want to share your vows, but then, you know, you could do the legal line during the ceremony. That's totally up to you, and that's totally up to totally up to you, really, and you and your partner. Another couple of questions. Do you have to remember your vows? No, your celebrant will have them there for you, either on that piece of card or in their book. But if you are one for, you know, monologues, soliloquies, you know, that kind of thing, then you are most welcome to memorize your vows, but your celebrant will always have them there for you. I love this one. Can they be funny? Yes, they can. If you know, especially if humor is something really important to your relationship. I want to, you know, that vow I said earlier about, let me find it. Where's that real life vow? Where they talk about, you know, the promises that they make to them, and they say, and I promise to always put your chocolate in the fridge. You know, that's putting chocolate in the fridge. I mean, I think that's very that means something to them, but doesn't it make chocolate hard? I'm not sure. So let them be fun, and that's just you. That brings colour to your ceremony, and you know, it gives your ceremony a bit of your vows a bit of character and life, and you know, that kind of thing. So yes, include something funny, include something lovely, include the legal line. Just always remember to include that legal line. I welcome you all to please like, or if you'd like to, like this video, share this video, share with this video with people who might be getting married soon, or, I mean, maybe you're not even engaged. You might want to just be listening to this because you want to get some ideas of what you would like to say to your partner when you do marry them. I have... So this was just a basic rundown of vows and vow writing, but if you would like, I do have a little bit of a booklet that I'm very, very happy to share with you. So if you would like to message me on Facebook or on Instagram, or email me or send me a message on my website, then I will actually send this little thing to you, because, you know, I love vows. I love talking about vows, and I really want your vows to be as successful and as lovely and as, you know, just whatever you would like your vows to be. I want that for you. So I do have this tool here that I'd love to share with you. So just send me a message on Facebook, Kineta Book of Weddings, or Instagram, Kineta Book of Weddings. Find me on Pinterest, Kineta Book of Weddings. Actually, I mentioned Pinterest before, and I said that on Pinterest, I have some boards on Pinterest about vow ideas and also ceremony readings. So pop over to my Pinterest page, Kineta Book of Weddings, and you'll be able to see some ideas there, and I'll be, you know, I build on those all the time. So I invite you all to follow me on these socials, and I will be doing some more lives. I've got some other lives planned, and if you do have any lives that you would like to know more about, then please do flick me a message and we will do that for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you can take away a bit of inspiration and a few more ideas about vows and the things that you can to add into your vows, the things that are more than just the legal line. And of course, this isn't just for people who are getting married. This could be for people who are having a vow renewal, because your vows could be quite different to what they were 20 years ago, because you know each other so well now. There are things that have changed over the years. You know, your love has grown, and this could be for vow renewals as well. That's just what I'm saying about that. Okay, thanks so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure talking to you about vows, writing vows, the ideas that you can build on with your vows. So it's been a great pleasure to have you here with me today. Thanks for watching.